Chef Danny Blyle, and our chicken posole is using leftover chicken to make a delicious stew that's low in saturated fat, low in cholesterol, high in fiber, and it all happens right here in one pot. You're gonna love it. Let's get started. First, I'm gonna add some canola oil to a saucepan. And to that, I'm going to add my mirepoix of vegetables, which is essentially onions, carrots, and celery. Now we're just going to stir this around, and we want to cook these for about 3 to 5 minutes until they turn translucent, but we don't want them to brown too much. Okay, the next ingredient we're going to add is a clove of chopped fresh garlic. There we go. And then to that, we're going to add some tomato paste. Now here's the kicker, the next ingredient, chipotle in adobo. Chipotle in adobo is essentially a smoked jalapeno pepper that's been put in this can with this delicious sauce that is going to make our posole have its spice that I mentioned. So you can use as much or as little of this as you like. Just be careful not to use the actual whole chili pepper itself because the seeds are spicy. Now the next ingredient we're going to add is called epazote. Now this is a herb native to Mexico, and the Aztecs have actually been using it for centuries for medicinal and culinary purposes. Now there really is not an exact equivalent in American herbs, so if you can't find it, I would suggest leaving it out altogether, or perhaps substituting dried oregano might be the closest match. But again, if you can find it, seek it out. Next, we're going to add some chicken stock mixed with water. And our next ingredient is this hominy. So if you've had grits before, if you had polenta before, this is what it starts out looking like. Now we're going to let this cook for about a half an hour to let all of these flavors incorporate and get nicely blended. Now speaking of blended, we're going to move over here to our blender and do another step for our recipe. To our blender, I'm going to add another can of chicken stock and the remaining of the can of our hominy. Pretty cool, huh? Double-handed. All right, and we're gonna blend that until we get a nice paste, puree. All right, now we wanna add this to our stew pot. There we go. Get all that out of there. We're going to let this cook for another 10 minutes or so until it comes to a boil. And then once it's boiling, we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. Okay, now we're going to add the shredded chicken, leftover chicken that we have here. Since this chicken is cooked already, we really only need to have it just warm up. So really it only needs like another 15 minutes and then you're ready to eat. And then we're going to add a little chopped cilantro. Beautiful. Give that a stir. Oh man, this smells so good. All right. Look at that yummy, gorgeous stew. Oh, so good. Now, I've got a few garnishes here. You can use whatever you like. I've got some sliced radishes, which are very traditional. Next, we're going to add some avocado, which are really high in those good fats that we all hear so much about that we need to get into our diet. And I have some baked, not fried, baked tortilla strips.